So today we're going to look at assessments using Google Forms. So the first thing that I'm going to start off with is if you are creating a Google form that you're going to be sharing with your colleagues, what I would recommend is actually starting this off in Google Drive. So you're actually going to go to Google Drive, so you can go to the 9 dots up here and click on Google Drive. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a folder, and this folder is going to be what we're actually going to present or share with our colleagues. So I'm going to go to folder up here, and when I go to folder, we can name this whatever we want. So maybe geography quizzes, and we'll go create. So this folder then is what we're going to share with our colleagues afterwards, and in it will have all of the Google Forms. So if I click into that folder, what I can do is I can go up here on the left hand side and I can say new, and down below here I have more, and I'm going to say Google Forms. Okay, so we can do it this way, or we can go to forms.google.com and then we'll move the form into that place. So in this case I'm going to go to forms here. Now we want it to be a quiz, so instead of just picking a blank form here, we're going to click a blank quiz. So if I click on blank quiz, now what it will give you is it will set this up like a quiz. So what it has is it has actually points that can be awarded per question, and also there's other stuff in the settings that I'll go through in a second. So first things first, we want to name the quiz. So you can name it by clicking in here or up on the top here. Always good to make the first question be the name of the student. This is because in our school, our email addresses for the students are just numbers. So that you can tie each result up here with a student, it's easier if you just get the full name. You'll be able to see who exactly answered this. So in terms of your full name, you want it to be a short answer, and then that's going to give you that question. To go and get or you want this to be required, so you're going to slide this over here. To get the next question, you're going to click on the plus symbol up here. Then that's going to add this question in here. Now if you're doing multiple choice, so which is the best color, and you can give different options. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set which one is the correct answer. So if I click on answer key, and I'm going to say red is the best color. And you can also add answer feedback. So you can say when they click the incorrect answers, you can say incorrect this time. Red is the answer. And then for correct answers, you can say congratulations. Move to the next question. You can hit save. So that means then if they answer the correct answer, they will get the correct answer feedback, and if they answer the wrong one, they'll get the incorrect answer feedback. The next thing that we have to decide is how many points this is going to be worth. So if you're looking at questions here, my advice would be to look at how many answers you're going to have on average for some of these things. The easiest point system that I usually would use is 12. The reason for that is if you have multiple answers that are in here, so you can have 3 answers at 4 marks, you can have 2 answers at 6 marks each, you can have 1 answer at 12 marks, or you can have lots of different combinations that way. So this is where you have multiple choice, so one can be selected. We're going to do a slightly different one. So what is the best subject in school? So in this we're going to say English, Irish, Maths, French, Business, Geography, Coding. So in this case, what we would have is it's multiple choice because it just says what is the best subject in school. But what you could do is we could actually have that there's multiple answers. So what are best subjects in school? And over here, instead of multiple choice, you can actually have check boxes. What this means is you can actually tick multiple things to give them as being the correct answer. So in the answer key here, we could say coding, maths, and Irish, that they're the best subjects. And then you hit done. And now what will happen is the student can get some marks for answering some of these, but not the full marks. So again, in the answer key, I have to put in my marks. So I'm going to put in 12 marks. And now that means that each one of these answers is going to be worth 4 marks. And we're going to hit done. Now, the next type of question is open answer questions. So, what did you do at the weekend? Google Forms isn't going to be able to correct a short answer or a paragraph. So something like this. So that's a long answer text. It's a paragraph. It's not going to be able to answer this and correct it. So in the answer key here, when you give this 12 marks, what will happen is the student will fill this long answer part out. And then once they've it filled out, it's going to grade them as 0 points. And then you have to go back once they have it submitted and allocate them the 12 points that are here. Okay, now all of these as well should be required. So when you're going back, just make sure that you have them all required, that they have to be answered. Okay, so that one. So then one thing that I will do up here in the settings is I want to limit to 1 response, because I only want 1 response from 1 student only. And then also in the quizzes section here, I also want to say that I'm releasing the mark later after manual review. If you have open form answers where they have to record a paragraph or a short paragraph, it will mark them as 0 for any of those questions. And you might get students that will come back to you and ask you questions as to why you only got less marks than they should have, because they were marked 0 for certain answers. So you want later after manual review. Okay, and we'll hit save. So that's the basics of those questions. If you want to as well, you can also add images into each of these sections. So if you had which is the best color, you can actually do a Google image search and you can add colors. Palette like this and click insert. And it will insert the image here. So if, for instance, there's a diagram that you want to, say, identify a certain thing, you can add the diagram here. The next thing that you can do as well is you can also add in a video. So if you click on this, you can find a video by searching in here. So geography. So let's say the geography of the Ice Age. What it will do is it will insert the video here, and then if you wanted to, you could have questions after it to do with the actual video. So as they're watching the video, they can also be answering the questions. The next part that you have is you can actually add sections. So if you want to divide the quiz up into sections, so maybe short questions and long questions, you can do that by just clicking add a section. And what it will do is it will add the sections in here. So for instance, the last question that I have here, it's after putting that into section 2 of 2. So this could be long questions. Okay, so at the very start of the video, we started off in Google Drive. And the reason for that is we set up that folder that we're going to be sharing with our colleagues. So how we actually save this to that folder is we can go up to the little folder icon up here, and that's saying move to folder. This is my drive here where my form is saved, and I can find here where I have my geography quizzes, and this is where I want to move my quiz. So now you should see that the quiz should appear inside here, which is this one, and it's just up here as a blank quiz. So I'm just going to click on this, and it should, I'm going to rename it as being quiz, and it should rename it here. Now, at the moment, all of the responses for all of these are all feeding into the one place. If you want to share this with your colleagues and you don't want to be receiving all of your colleagues' students' answers, what they will need to do is they will need to copy this quiz. So first of all, you're going to share this folder with them. So if you click up here, you're going to click share, and then you can choose their name by typing it in here. So I'm going to share it with myself and click send. And then once I log in as my colleague, what we want to do is select this, right click on it, and then say I want to make a copy. So over here we'll have a copy of the geography quiz. Actually, it's here. And then what we need to do after that is we need to right click on this and say move to, and we can move this now by clicking back. We're going to move that to my drive. So if I wanted now to put it into my classroom tab here, I can pop it in here. Now that we've created our form in Google Forms, what we want to do is we want to go into Google Classroom, and we're going to go to our classwork tab. We're going to go to create up here, and we have a few options. So we have assignment, we have quiz assignment. We already have the quiz created, so all we want to do is click on assignment. In the assignment then we can give it a title, so geography quiz. We can give instructions, so fill the quiz. Then we want to click on the add down below here. We're going to say Google Drive. It should appear in your recents here. So I'm going to click select and click add. Now there's a few things that you should be able to see here. If you have Chromebooks and you want to use locked mode, then you can slide that across. In our case, we're not going to. But down below here, we have this grade importing. That means that whatever grade that they get in the actual quiz will go into their gradebook. Over here, we want to select which classes we want to put it into. So at the moment, it's going into this test class. We can say how many points in total the whole thing is. So if we want to make it out of 100 points, it's going to get the percentage from this one. Our due date, so we can put a due date on it, remembering that if we put a date in here, we have to put in a time because it's going to put 1 minute to midnight otherwise. So I just change that usually to AM so that it will do it in the day. And then the topic, if you want to add a topic to it, it's going to be geography, so we can add that in there. Then we're going to click assign, and that has that Google form set up.